Welcome to Gloria's Gab Live. I have with me today Andria Parks with First Ascent Biomedical, and they've got some exciting news for people that are involved in cancer treatment, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes, but I have to introduce our sponsor, South Florida PBS, that sponsors us week after week, and their sponsorship allows us to bring cutting-edge news, information on nonprofits, people doing positive things in our community, like First Ascent. And you have to do this, Andrea. They have a thorough exhibit coming up starting this week. It's another immersive art experience like Da Vinci, but this one is even better. I had the pleasure of going to it. It is out of this world and such an educational experience. Don't miss it. It's at Boynton Beach. It's worth the drive. So let's start. Okay. Now, actually, Andrea is filling in for Jim Foote, who is the CISO of First Ascent. And he had an emergency, and poor Andrea was recruited at the last minute, but she's a delight. And you kind of have the way you got together with Jim to come to work for First Ascent because you had similar experiences with your children. So let's talk about that, and then what prompted him to found this company and do the research you're doing.
Well, absolutely. I'll share my story. So Jim and I met because we have something in common, and it's cancer, and specifically pediatric cancer. Mm-hmm. Jim's son had osteosarcoma, and he passed away in his teenage years. And I also went through that experience. I can't unsee what I've seen, neither can Jim. And my daughter is a 2-time rhabdomyosarcoma survivor. She started at age 13 with her first journey, her second journey at age 15. Wow. She's now 19. She continues to be cancer-free. We live on the edge every quarter for scans. Yeah. But we share that story. And like I mentioned, you can't unsee what you've seen and what you've lived through. Yeah. And when I met Jim, we spoke about that, and we share the same north. We want other patients, not only pediatric, but also adults, to know that there's other options, such as functional precision medicine. And that's what this company is all about. And what Jim, Diana Azam, who's our chief science officer, as well as Noah Berlot, who's manages all the AI behind this, is this group got together to bring something different together, to bring something innovative together. And functional precision medicine is not new, but it's the approach that we're giving it that is new and different for cancer patients.
Well, and the beauty of it is that you're willing to share. You're not patenting and keeping it close to your chest. You're allowing people to build on your research, whatever it is. Is that correct?
So what we have right now is we're open and we're ready to bring patients in. So we want to make functional precision medicine available to patients in Florida and throughout the U.S. We have a research lab that's based in Florida International University, but we also have our commercial lab in Miami, specifically in the Kendall area, which has just gone through validations. And we also received a Florida Cancer Innovation Fund grant through Governor DeSantis and his wife Casey that's going to benefit 200 patients in Florida to have access to our platform and enable them to have our tests performed for their specific type of cancer.
That's amazing. So your journey, we talked about how you started out and you were going to go into medicine.
Yes.
And ended up working for a pharmaceutical company.
Exactly.
So, and then what was it about working for a pharmaceutical company and with your business degree, which you had to, what was it that made you fall in love with medicine and doing this type of work?
Well, I love being close to the patient. Through my childhood, I saw my parents go through different diseases, specifically my dad's mom, my mom's dad went through a lot. He went through cancer himself, and I saw how he was taken care of. I was curious as to how his treatment was being provided to him and the care that was around him. So when I did graduate from business school, I wanted to do something different. Originally, my plans were to go to med school, but 2 days out of college, I was hired by Pfizer at that time. And I had the opportunity of being very, very close to what was being done to improve the lives of patients on different therapeutic fronts.
Right.
So with that evolved to continuing my career, continuing down the path. I went to other big pharmaceutical companies and then smaller ones where I had even more direct access to the patient and understanding what their journeys were like, what their lives were like with and without medicine, and how improvements kept on coming through with innovation. So yes, when I met Jim, this is one that I could not say no to. Again, it was with a personal story behind it.
So what makes up this company? You've got Jim,
Yes.
head guy, and then you have doctors, you have a lot of people involved. And are there specific jobs? How is that all panning out? And you said you have like, you're at FIU,
Yes.
and are you using the lab there?
So the lab at FIU is a research lab.
Okay.
In partnership with FIU. We also have a commercial lab, which is non-research related, and it already provides access to patients in Florida and outside of Florida to access our platform.
Yeah.
For all types of cancers.
And now your daughter's going to FIU.
Yes, she is.
Is she going to go into medicine?
Well, she's studying nursing right now.
Nursing,
She's inspired by her own story. As I mentioned, she's a 2-time rhabdomyosarcoma survivor.
Yeah.
And she knows what she's been through, and she knows what patients need. So she wants to do the same.
She'll be a great nurse.
That's what we hope.
Because she's, So I bet you're proud of her.
I am very proud of her.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me more. How can people access what you're doing? And is there a particular kind of cancer that's you treat more than others?
So how you can access us is through our website. There's a specific point in our website for information.
And what is it? It's right there. It's on this screen.
Yes, it's on your screen. So if you access our website and you're a patient, you can click on the patient tab, and it'll take you immediately to a form that you can fill out and access that. You can provide your information. We will be in contact with you, meaning somebody in our lab will be in contact with you and take you through the steps to reach out to your doctor and ask for the test if you are currently going through cancer or cancer relapse.
Okay. And does government, does insurance pay for your services?
So at this time, we had to make a very difficult decision.
Yeah.
It was either wait till we have all in place for insurance to cover our test, or provide access now. And because Jim and I...
So the insurance may come later?
It'll come later.
Yeah.
Because we want to provide access now, we're open now. And there are many ways to cover for the test, like the Florida Innovation Fund.
Right. Yes. So and that's allowing you to take care of 200 patients?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's
patients
huge.
in Florida, which is huge. And all types of cancers. It's not one specific cancer. We're known as pan-cancer, which means all types of cancer. And all the patient needs to do is submit the form. We'll be in contact with a patient's doctor, and our lab will take it from there.
So functional medicine, I've heard about that in the past. It has to do with a lot of different things. So what are the areas that it covers? I mean, it's just not just eating in particular. Is it diet? Is it what does it entail?
So I'll explain. Functional precision medicine is understanding how your unique biology works. So I'll explain that further from the First Ascent context. So functional precision medicine has been around for a long time, but it's looking at something very specific from our lens. What we do is we combine understanding how your cancer cells react to different types of drugs. So we'll take a fresh biopsy, either of a solid tumor or a liquid or a blood cancer. We will we'll grow those cells in our lab, we'll enrich them in our lab, and we'll test or validate hundreds of FDA approved drugs or combinations to understand which drug works best on those cancer cells. And then that's one part. And then we'll combine that with genomics, which is your blueprint, your DNA and RNA.
Right.
Aside from that, we'll also add in an AI component, which is going to map out the weaknesses within your cancer and note where they are. So when you combine the drug sensitivity testing, which is how the drugs react to your, or how the cancer reacts to these drugs,
Right.
plus the genomics, plus the AI to know where the weaknesses are, we provide a report. And that report enables a physician to know what drugs work, what drugs don't work, which is very important.
Super important.
So we enable a physician, or we support them knowing what works, what doesn't work, so they can select the right treatment for that patient in that moment in time. So that enables treatment to potentially work better, to cause less toxicity, which is very important when it comes to cancer.
Yeah.
Right? Drugs can be highly toxic, but here you'll know what works best and what works best for that specific patient in that specific time.
That's amazing.
It is.
And were you able to take advantage of any of this with your daughter? Or did you have to do it the hard way?
We did it the hard way, but
Yeah.
we've seen some beautiful stories. And I mean, we really celebrate this on a weekly basis at work,
Yeah.
where we have seen a child go from hospice to back to school to playing football for any parent.
So what is your favorite story?
That one specifically.
That one?
I
That
will
one?
never forget the day when a text came through and then it was shared. And then, we're like, tell us more. What's happening? What's going on? It's working. Look what just happened. And
Yeah.
as a parent who's gone through this and has lived through this and have seen other parents not had the blessing of having their kid like I do
Yeah.
at home, that brought tears to our eyes.
Oh,
And that's
yeah.
my favorite story.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Yeah.
Just knowing what
Bringing
those
tears to my eyes
parents
too.
but just knowing what those parents are able to
Yeah.
have their child at home is
Yeah.
priceless.
Yeah. So going to work every day is like a blessing.
It's a joy. It's
Yeah.
a joy. I've never been happier in my entire career that we're so close to seeing how this is helping patients get through and giving that sense of hope and find a new way to approach how they're being treated.
And how are doctors responding to this? Are they like enamored with you?
So once they
Should
get
be.
it, once they get it, they continue to use our platform because
Yeah.
it enables them, instead of going through trial and error,
Right.
because that's what happens, let's
Yeah.
see if this works.
Right.
And there's so much study behind this. Let's see if this drug works. But what if we can pinpoint this really works and we show you the report where it works
Yeah.
with all the evidence you need? That makes their life and how they treat patients much easier. So once they're hooked, they're hooked.
Okay, so when somebody comes in and they've got you take their biopsy and you start doing the how long does that typically take to come out with a recommendation to the doctor?
That's a great question. So it takes an average of 10 days from the moment the
That's
biopsy
quick.
is collected and taken to our lab. We enrich the cells and go through the process of testing the drugs, combining that with genomics and the AI tumor weakness mapping. Is an average of 10 days. And we'll send the report through the portal to the physician or any means he would like to receive
Right.
the report at.
That's pretty impressive.
It is.
So are you now talking to doctors all over the United States, or how is that working? I know you've got Florida covered, and you certainly have DeSantis and his wife helping you out. So what other areas are you hoping to expand into?
Well, we're continuing to expand. We had the pleasure of being part of a fantastic program called Cancer X, where we met many different health systems and clinicians. We met other companies that are in this innovation area. So our goal is, through partnerships with different opportunities that are coming up with the different health systems and clinicians within these health systems, is get our platform used and let them experience what it's like so more patients can benefit. But also we have another commercial lab coming up in Pennsylvania. By the end of 2026, we should have our lab up and running within Gannon University. in Pennsylvania.
With what university?
Gannon.
Gannon. Okay, great.
So
Oh my
that will
goodness.
have a large throughput for patients, so potentially 15,000 patients. So
Wow.
that should enable more patients to access the tests and also have the results turned around rather quickly.
Now, I know Jim, son, was it Trey Foot?
Yes.
He started a foundation, the Trey Foot Foundation.
Yes.
Is that how you received the grant, or what are they doing with that foundation? Is it to pay for people to get the treatments, or how is that working?
So Jim, who works with a foundation also, that's separate. That's on his personal side. The foundation and First Ascent are two separate entities.
Two separate.
Entities.
It's just something I know I was going to ask him about. So.
Yes, the Jim Foundation.
But he has a nonprofit.
Yes, the nonprofit works to support patients on different fronts. But we also work with many other nonprofits that they may realize that a patient, needs a different approach to their cancer because they're either relapse or it's a very rare type of cancer. So they'll call us up and we'll get the patient through our platform.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and let's talk about you. Okay. What are you involved in nonprofit work? I'm a nonprofit addict, so I'm involved in a lot of nonprofits. So, outside of what you do, which seems to be a work of passion, is there anything else you're involved in?
So at this time, I'm fully immersed in First Ascent.
I would think so.
I'm fully immersed in First Ascent because we have a lot going on as we continue to grow. But I love speaking to patients. I love speaking to other parents who are going through journeys like we did to help them navigate and get through and make sure they ask the right questions. Yeah.
Well, I would like you to introduce you to people that might like you as a speaker, to talk about what you're doing, because there's a lot of hope out there for people when companies like yours come up with different approaches, and I'm really impressed. I got to tell you, and I can't wait to talk to my daughter at FIU because she's in the lab there. So
I'd love to meet her.
Yeah, you have to. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to put you two together. You have to go when next time you go over to visit your daughter when she's at FIU. You can just go to the lab and.
I'd love to. I'll make sure to make that.
I know she teaches on Tuesdays and Thursdays if it hasn't changed in the morning. So, but she's usually there most of the day doing stuff.
Wonderful. Well, I look forward to the introduction.
So, there you go. Okay, yeah. So we have time on our hands. So what else do you want to tell us about the company, how it's growing, that kind of thing?
Sure. So at this time, we are just completed validation for our commercial lab in Miami in Florida. Yeah. So what that means is we are looking forward to receiving patients with either hematologic malignancies or blood cancers or solid tumors that are need or relapse and need that second view of how their doctor can approach their cancer treatment. So we're ready to move forward on that front. Simultaneously, we are also, expanding that the construction of that lab in Pennsylvania and moving forward on that front. It's been wonderful to see how governments in the two different states, right? So Florida and Pennsylvania are really focusing on innovation and making this accessible to more patients, which is huge. So our company continues to look forward to making this available to as many patients as possible because we've been there.
Okay, so are you talking so what's your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan? Do you have, I'm sure you have those because you're a business major.
Yes, we have those. And I know Jim in an opportunity will be happy to discuss those. But imagine what it would be to have patients, instead of hearing 1 in 5 patients or 1 in 3 will not make it, to understand that 1 in 3 will have the opportunity to see their treatment in a different light with something that works. So thinking about where we're headed, we want to enable coverage throughout the U.S. We are working simultaneously with producing this real world data based on each patient's unique biology to create the data that's needed for a payer or an insurance company to cover for our tests. So that's coming next. So
fingers crossed.
fingers crossed. And
The
looking forward, we have
insurance
beautiful data
companies.
that we continue to build as each patient comes in. We continue to expand our database to provide that real world data and bring that to fruition for coverage. So we do have 3 fully funded adult clinical studies going underway. And I hate to call them clinical studies because they're really not a study. They're prospective. We're proving that this works. So,
Exactly.
yes,
Yeah.
on different adult types of cancers. So with that data, we will be able to go to different insurance companies, show how this works, and get the coverage that we need. So
Right.
that's what we're looking forward to.
Oh, so in the next 5-10 years, maybe you get the
Hopefully less than
coverage and
5.
you can expand throughout the U.S. and world, globally.
Yes, globally.
Yeah. 10 years
and
plan, global.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutly. That's what we're
Yeah.
looking for.
So, no, it's funny. This morning I was getting a call from, is it Argentina?
Yes.
And I kept spam. And it was your PR guy telling me you had to fill in for Jim.
Yes, it was Matthias.
So Matthias, when you're watching this, know that you can text me and tell me it's Matthias. Because if he had texted me and said this is Matthias, I'd go, okay, I'll answer the call. Anyway, but he didn't.
Well, I'm happy to be here, and
Well, I'm happy to have you, and I can't wait to get you involved in more outreach in the community, because there's a lot of people that need to know about what you're doing and the opportunity just to say, hey, there's something else out there you can try.
yes,
And it's obviously been proven to be helpful to oncologists.
it has.
Yeah.
It has. And you have to advocate for yourself. You have to ask questions, right?
Oh,
Don't-
yeah.
You cannot just wait and see. Ask the questions, look, inform, look at our website, ask foundations for your specific type of cancer, what's out there. You want to ask the questions. You need to know.
Exactly.
You need to get the education.
And a phone call to you doesn't cost anything.
It doesn't. So
to find
please
out,
give us a call.
the type of cancer, and if you don't have insurance, what it might cost if you don't have it. You're not able to get it covered another way.
Correct.
So-
And yes, all those questions would be answered when you give us a call. And it's really accessible. It's very similar to the price of a genomics test. So thinking about that, we want to make sure that every patient is covered, and we'll help you get through. So
Well,
just give us a
okay, so you do the stuff for that. Do you do other kind of testing to help fund all the other stuff you're doing?
At this time, we're focused on functional precision medicine
That's
and
right.
very specifics.
Yeah.
In the near future, we'll probably have the opportunity to discuss.
Well,
other-
it's always nice to have another, income, to support the good work.
Of course. But we really are looking forward to making this broad access. So functional precision medicine approach being a broad access.
Well, how lucky we are that you're doing that kind of work, and that they have people like you and Jim who are so passionate about it and have a vested interest. That's always important. Somebody who really understands, and when you talk to your patients, also being able to understand what they're going through.
Oh, yes.
So my husband died of a tumor in the liver, and I'm sure he could have used that. But during COVID, it was you couldn't get anything done.
No.
And by the time they figured it out, it was too late. But I can see that might have helped had it been caught early, and so I appreciate that.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry to hear that. And it's
Yeah. Well, it was
we
several
want to
years
help
ago.
as many patients as possible and ask the questions. You need to ask the questions
Yeah.
and know that there's other innovations out there that will help your specific type of cancer. So it all starts with make the phone call, look at the website. Let's see how we can help.
So you and Jim have had this personal experience with cancer. Has anybody else in your group the same thing happen? Did he go around and find people that had an experience and they go, yeah, we're in?
Well, I think at this point in the world, all of us
have,
someone,
right?
either a loved one, a dear friend, a colleague who has gone through cancer, and it's devastating. It impacts not only your immediate circle but your community. So
Yeah.
all of us at First Ascent have been impacted either personally either a parent, a child, your spouse,
Yeah.
all of us have been impacted. So we all share that same north.
Didn't somebody tell? I think I read once that, if you live long enough, you'll get cancer.
At this point, it's probably true. Yeah.
Well,
probably
so,
true.
if you want to avoid cancer, get hit by a car. You won't die.
Well, what we want to do is
That's a sad state of affairs.
That's not how we want to do it.
Yeah,
but,
that's not. No.
but yes, it's real. It's out there, and more than ever, more is being diagnosed. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. September was Childhood Cancer
I
Awareness
forgot to wear
Month.
my breast cancer stuff today.
So think of that. It's out there. It continues to be diagnosed. There are more cases, and it's worldwide. So we're here to make that big dent in how it's being approached.
Well, I thank you so much for coming today. Our time, believe it or not, is up. I told you it would be. But you're just a delight, and I'm so happy that you came in Jim's place. And we'll have Jim another time. But thank you so much for coming and sharing today. And thank you, South Florida BBS, for allowing us to sponsor this show and bring this show to you and find out everything that First Ascent Biomedical is doing to help cancer patients. So until next time, make a difference, make a plan. Be safe, be considerate, be kind, and have a great day.
Thank you.